first question of all is, why are you a musician?
Do you think I'm a musician?
I do think so.
Thank you very
I
much.
believe that.
I really love music. In my young ages, I was hesitating to be a mathematician or a musician. And at school, the teacher for mathematics, she told to my mother, you know, they say that she's not a bad musician, but she's so much better at mathematics. I loved music, and I loved when I was 5 years old, you know, I wanted to compose. And I was sitting and I told my grandma, look, I compose now and you write it. And my grandma told, I don't know the notes, you know, I can't. And how, you are so old and still you couldn't decide it.
What are the differences between the young Marta and the Marta that we have today? Are there big differences?
Very, very, very big differences. I think I had really also a very big process of psychologically too. I love music, you know, in second half of my life. I like much more than,
Really?
I feel I cannot live without. When I was 12 years, I went to the high school, you know, in Budapest.
Yes.
It was already possible at age of 12, you know, to get into. No?
Okay.
Normally it was 14. They found us extra talented. They took us, you know, and that was a very important thing for me, because I was among children at the same age. They came from music families. We went sometimes to concert with my mother once 2 months or something, but I didn't have, you know, around me somehow a musical air or something.
Of course. And when you were around my age, for example?
I was in Moscow that time.
Yes.
Already, you know, and that really changed my life. I didn't want to go.
No.
But I thought, no, this country never ever I go, because it's really, we had a lot of trouble.
Of course.
With that. But my teachers were very clever in the academy.
Yes.
And they said, look, go to Moscow. It was fantastic, you know, also environment. Bashkirov, I met Bashkirov, yeah.
Yes.
There, and I won with my music culture. I brought from Budapest. I played a slow movement of Mozart sonata, and with that I could win.
And how did you incorporate all these things into the lessons today that you're giving?
First of all, I didn't want to teach at all. I
No?
thought I will hate teaching, and I don't want to be a teacher. But when I started, immediately, you know, I felt that this is my way, a passion.
Yeah.
And still, I love it, because I never imagined teaching like students are coming and I tell them what to do and how to do. I always, you know, imagine teaching that we search together.
Like, for example, when you have so different, the groups are so different, so many different combinations. Is your approach different in the region?
Absolutely. And I would like, I'm very proud that you don't recognize, you know, this is Marta students. Years ago, there was a chamber music competition in Hungary, and 2 duos, you know, got prizes. The first prize was mine and the third prize was mine. Okay, first prize, then my colleagues congratulated me, and they asked, and okay, the second, and to whom belongs the third prize, the duo? I thought, they are also mine. And they said, but how is it possible? Because they played, you know, there is a scherzo and Wiener sonata, they played totally different.
Yeah.
You can play of course.
So it depends a lot in the kind of atmosphere that the group has.
Absolutely.
The kind of,
absolutely. I'm still learning a lot from teaching and from students. That's why I love it. Yeah, very fresh.
If there is one thing that you could say to musicians that are listening to us that kind of changed your perspective.
I have this question all the time in Japan when I go there, and they want, you know, they want me to make a lecture about my system or my I don't have. My system is that I don't have, and I don't want to have, you know, a system. I'm always telling, can you imagine a doctor, you know, that's all patients, for all illness, is giving the same medicine. Really, that's why it's interesting, because you have a relationship to people, musicians. They all have different questions and problems and advantages and disadvantages, and I don't want to have a system. I try to look at and listen to and to estimate how I can help them.
I have to say, I was super nervous the first time I remember I played for you.
Really?
Extremely nervous.
Really?
I came from a very different way of teaching, violin, music, everything. And concretely in Brahms, which is something I would like to talk a tiny bit about also.
I remember you played
third.
Yes, the third.
It was pure music, what you were teaching to me.
Exactly. Once I took part in a master class and next door. They were practicing 8 viola.
Yeah.
Til, pa, 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 how to play this til, pa, pa. And they were playing the same, for 8 minutes or 10 minutes. I was thinking about, first of all, at least they have to know this is Vivaldi, Mozart or Brahms. It's what you practice, but you never will play.
Exactly, yeah.
Of course, I try to help in technical things also, but first they have to come from musical problems or ideas.
And knowledge, not just playing something that you will never play like that, because it's not musical at all.
Absolutely.
I was very used to kind of what to do with sound, projecting sound, that's it. Vibrato, no vibrato, there is nothing else, let's say, And this was a whole lesson about the colors and the rubato and the colors in the rubato of Brahms, and not just massive, but it's a whole...
Did I?
Of course you did. Yes.
I'm happy.
It's not understood in a good way many times, mainly for string players maybe. This kind of massive thing in romantic playing and losing all the colors that are in the phrasing.
The phrasing is as in a theater, Nobody understands if you are not.
Exactly.
I try to give more solutions for it. You may do here a little bit, but then before and after.
Exactly, yeah. Option A, B,
Option,
C,
yes,
D,
exactly.
It's a whole language, that's what you said.
Yes. And maybe today, I will like this version and tomorrow the other one.
Of course. It's that mainly when we see a good musicians is the one who plays a lot, and very, projected and all the notes. But you are always able to see farther.
For me, of course, it's very impressive thing when somebody is playing piano, fantastic virtuoso. I enjoy it. Maybe not longer than 3 minutes. Sometimes when it's really very good, maybe 15. Yeah, okay. Somebody is playing this acrobatic, thing. But I like. I enjoy in circus. But I enjoy also, the music, but is not, sometimes the high, so difficult, the most difficult thing. But it's really speaking to me.
And is there any composer that you feel especially very connected to?
I hope Schubert and Schumann too. I like. I don't know. I like Mozart, Haydn also, and I think if I have a good day, I can play entertaining. The problem is that with your generation, when you play Mozart and Haydn, you play very, very good, everything is polished. When it's too good, people is coming and they say, yeah, it's very beautiful, beautiful. Classical music is beautiful, but so boring, we don't come next time.
Are you happy with the way that classical music has nowadays?
No, I'm not at all. And
Okay.
I'm very worrying about, and really that not because of it's beloved or not beloved, because first of all, because if it's working the whole thing like a market. And I don't like this idea. People they don't use music enough, and art. Generally, not only music, to feel better. People should use, the art and also music to go out and to evade. to escape
from reality.
from the little troubles of everyday troubles. I think it's not enough and used, and that's why I see many people, you know, really unhappy and somehow depressed, and I think it's.
You think music could take a role in that it's not having right now?
I believe it. I was born and I was grown up in a communistic, you know, area, and of course we had a lack of many things, real, you know, for real life. We had a difficult life, and but that's very good for art. Somehow it's helping. Then you have a fantastic conditions, you know, you have a very nice level of life.
There are not these intense emotions that you need to evade.
There are no tension, you know, and I'm not crying for this. We had survived, but for art, for music, you know,
you feel fulfilled with all what you've done and where you're now? I
feel lucky.
Yeah, you feel lucky
yes.
for the life you've had and
absolutely, yes. I do. I'm working a lot, really. I have too much to do sometimes, and I have no time to go to a theater or not reading enough.
You're working a lot, Marta.
I have to practice until I have concerts, you know.
Yes, I know, but you're practicing every day so much. Whenever you have a pause, I can see you practicing.
Yeah, because I have now, for example, next month, 3 different programs.
One piece that you have to take to a desert island.
The Quintet of Schubert with 2 cellos. The first movement and the slow movement, and the slow movement of the Schubert Sonata, the B flat major. With Sviatoslav Richter.
Ah, okay. You know which version you want.
Yes.
What advice would you give to a young musician?
That I am telling them everything in my lesson. That you can't change, you know, with one phrase or two words.
How would you describe music?
I don't know. No, music is a part of our life. You know, when you are born, there is, you know, the baptize.
Yeah.
You know, the children. There is music. When you have a wedding, there is music. When you die, when my funeral I prepared, there is music. You know, it's all your events in your life. You know, we need music. Mankind, you know, needs music. When there are no more words, when you were born, when you are dying, when you get married, when there are not enough words to explain, there is music there. Without art, you know, I think the mankind will die out. Sometimes when we are speaking about a classical, you know, language of music, I'm always telling them that the German phrasing, the bar form, you know. For example, that when we have a phrase, you know, we have a trial, another attempt, and a long one, you know. That's why the classical phrase is 2 + 2 + 4, or 1 + 1 + 2, or something like that. And already the Greek, they had thesis, antithesis, synthesis. No? And then came Immanuel Kant, of course very primitive to say. He said, why for a new quality we need 2 opposite things? They could be maybe the same or similar. And then they can have a solution, you know, a new quality. From Mozart, Haydn, that will be the base of the phrasing. And then you know that first attempt, second attempt, and the long one, we start a little bit, you know, from down, and not, that it's a mistake many times, you know, that we impulse it or we accent it in the same way. Very philosophic, for example, the Halley triangle, the same thing.
Even the symbolism is even in phrasing. Sometimes we were working on Brahms' trio. There was this very Brahmsian thing, you know, not going kind of anywhere, but it's always not to arrive, never, you know. And you said something. It was like the punishment for mankind, you know. When they accomplish what they want or they desire, they don't want it anymore, you know. And there was this kind of when you arrive and then you go to another place, and it's like never.
I was so clever.
You were.
But when you a little bit go forward, you know, to think about things, and you find many things, you know, they are really connected.
For example, this passage in the quartet with piano, the third one C minor, in the fourth movement, the viola and the violin has their solo. It reflects this for me somehow, you know, you go and you're still escalating. It goes to a dominant, it goes to some diminished chord, nothing, you know. It's this kind of sense of absurdness.
Brahms, yes. Music is life. The micro and you know, the eternal things are the same. It's very clear in the word. You find everything there, you know, and you have to think about it.
Yeah. What a wonderful thing! Oh my God. Marta, it's fantastic.
Can I see how did it?
Of course.